You are listening to Dark Matter Radio. I am your host, Kathryn, founder, promoter, and co-owner at Dark Matter, a DIY-inspired venue and community space in Nashville, Tennessee. On this episode of Dark Matter Radio, I'm going to be sitting down with Tony Escamilla from the solo project S.T.A.I.N and Anti-Human and checking in. We're going to cover how making music has changed for them during COVID, navigating life as a high school-age person during our isolated and digital age, and we even go over a few music suggestions, so stick around. Up first, we have a S.T.A.I.N track, and this is number 22, Factory, from the Noise Wash 1 direct collection. want to give a little introduction about yourself?
I'm Tony. I run the whole S.T.A.I.N thing. It's basically just my whole solo project. Basically started out of quarantine.
Okay.
And it started like as a whole different thing entirely, kind of like a weird doom type project. And it started with me needing something for drums because I don't have a drum set and I can't play drums.
Yeah.
And then it turned into something like completely different. And it's just like everything like I make by myself. And I can't really put it into one genre, but I'm trying my best to like take every influence I have and like put it in like one package, even though that's extremely difficult.
Yeah. And did that change come about because of quarantine? Like, because you said it started off as like a doom. Was it always going to be more solo, or?
It was always going to be like kind of solo, but then I didn't realize how extreme that would get. and like it's been good, but it's also been kind of a problem. Because, like, whenever you have, like, so much control over every element of, like, each track, it's a little overwhelming. Because before I was just used to, like, you know, you would just, like, meet up and write riffs, and it'd be pretty easy to make a song out of that.
Yeah.
But then actually having to plot everything out was a whole different way of looking at everything. And I'm still having trouble with that, like, actually arranging songs.
When it's like just you, it's like, oh, it's only what's inside my own brain.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I gotta actually work for this stuff.
But how did you first start going to shows?
So the way I'd say is like, I mean, around like middle school, it was like I was very much like into metal, but then my first like actual show was seeing Anthrax in like freshman year. And then from there, it was
Was it Anthrax at Marathon?
Yeah.
I was at that show.
It was really good. Yeah. But definitely a lot of old heads, but it was really good.
Yeah.
But my first like real introduction to the whole punk crowd was Nameless that year, and it was Show Me the Body. I had no clue who they were.
Yeah.
And I was just like dumbfounded by what was in front of me. Like everyone just like disgusting, going after each other, ripping each other apart, just to Show Me the Body. And I was like, I need more of this. Like, and then from there I started seeing Offhand and Bazooka Tooth, and then like just slowly crept my way into that. And then I don't know, just talking to people at shows and like talking to Ryan from Offhand.
From Offhand, yeah.
Yeah, and it just slowly worked our way in. Me and a few of my friends, you probably know, but I don't know. It's weird to think about it now because it was like almost like it's already like 2 years or something.
Like shortly after that is when you started playing in bands. Obviously, that's how I like really know you. Yeah. And talking about being in the band, have like during at all, I guess right now during quarantine, has Anti-Human done it? Like, have you been able to like meet up or practice or do anything?
So early on, we really tried to, but like, just this situation, because like everyone's like living situation is weird, and then not to mention like gear and everything, because sometimes we'd have like other people's drum sets, because like Enzo is also an Engine 9.
Yeah.
So we have some of their equipment. So at first we really tried, but nothing's really been able to work out. I hope that we can keep doing it, but if it doesn't, then, you know, things happen. But, like, I don't know. I definitely want to keep doing it, especially because, like, I've been in this since the beginning. And if not, I'd want it to be something that's at least like remembered.
Yeah, I love y'all. So that's definitely in my head.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have listened to Number 22 Factory by S.T.A.I.N. and Blue Crystal Fire, a Robbie Basho cover done by Scumpcorpse. More with Tony up next. And I guess, not being able to practice and things like that. So I guess just to check in with you, I guess how has, life changed for the better or worse as far as music and school or any of the other stuff that you'd be doing? Like, how have you been dealing with any of that sort of stuff?
Oh, I don't know. I think everyone will kind of give the same question. Like, it's weird. I'm surprised, I'm here. But, yeah, it's been almost a complete year since I've done all of this, hardware type stuff. And it's kind of weird to see, how it's progressed. 'Cause before, it started out as just needing something to play a drum track. Mm-hmm. But now I've just been making any type of music that I want and trying to put it into my style. But yeah, especially school is really odd.
Are you online or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be done with it. And
Yeah.
and I have to worry about actually doing college stuff this year. And that's even harder with Corona.
Yeah. Do you think that if things are, I guess, kind of still not that great, have you thought about, I don't know, taking a year, or are you just going to go ahead and just start?
I would take a year, but parents.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know. I think whatever I'm obviously going to sign up for something that I'm interested in. So I know that the first 2 years are mostly academics, but after that, I'm hoping to do some electrical engineering or something along that lines to incorporate stuff that I'm already interested in. Because I'm already interested in designing and building synths or pedals or anything. And I'd like to actually get a education, something like circuits, so I can use that to my advantage.
Nice. Moving in that direction, talking about, already interested in pedals and hardware and things like that. So the solo project S.T.A.I.N, does it stand for something?
Yeah, it started out as just it was a whole acronym. It was Surveillance Transfer Automated Information Network, just something super weird and complex. And it started out as kind of this overlord machine. It's it's basically a whole planet, but it's just sentient machine.
Nice.
Really over the top, weird. But it's I think the music kind of explains it for itself.
And so I guess because I'll be playing some tracks, obviously, of yours on the podcast. But if you just want to talk a little bit about what are you doing with your music, I guess, what direction are you coming from? What do you want people to know, feel, that sort of thing? I
guess I want people to feel like they're I guess falling is a really good one. Just very, I don't want to say the word trippy, but that's the only word I can say is very atmospheric, weird, trippy. But then I'm also it's not going to be just electronic stuff. I'm going to have a lot of the elements that I came from, really fast punk, two-step, all of that good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely think that people should experiment as much as they want, and it's everyone's still figuring out their own sound.
Exactly. And sometimes you just have to, it takes a little bit more trips around to find it. But yeah, so, and you gave me a couple of suggestions for the playlist that, so what do you want to tell me about the song Blue Crystal Fire?
That is a song that my boy Enzo made.
Yeah.
And you know him.
Yes.
I know him.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast,
you probably
might know him. You should. You should know him.
I was you've definitely seen him, if nothing else.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was listening to it when it came out because, like, I mean, my dude released a project. Like, of course, I got to listen to it. And, of course, like, everything on that album was already, like, really experimental. And I like what Enzo did, just, like, not caring about genre. Mm-hmm. And that specific song, I felt, was really good because a lot of the time, or not a lot of the time, but I like ambient. And I think that was just so extremely well put together. It's like, I don't want to say sleep music, but it really just makes me feel like I'm like falling asleep.
Like getting in a lull.
Yeah.
I understand. And the second one was Trash of the South by 99 Candles.
Yeah. So that's Cole. And so he had been talking about this for a while with me. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we're gonna make some music at some point, but he was talking to me about this whole thing. He was getting influenced by a lot of like dark hip hop, mm-hmm. and especially like the whole kind of like a nu metal type revival.
Yeah.
Recently, but a little more on the trap side. Mm-hmm. And I was completely down with it because like I already like that stuff myself, and I was really happy that someone in Nashville was doing that type of sound. Also, I like what Kent Osborne had done a lot with that type of sound. But yeah, once I actually heard it, I was really impressed. And I don't know, I really like when my friends like put their all into something because you get... I just get impressed.
So, other than those two tracks, have you been listening to anything else right now?
It's kind of weird. I find myself usually like listening to the same stuff. A lot of old school 90s jazz rap pretty recently. Messing around with that type of sound too. Making it. It's weird because I want people to release music, but also I understand why they wouldn't want to, because I mean there's it's kind of hard to portray a feeling when you don't have the energy of like a live show. And I was planning on doing like this was mainly supposed to be run off of like live sets, this project, but of course I realized like I couldn't do that.
On that note, what are you currently, I guess, looking forward to, hoping happens?
I'm definitely looking forward to doing this. To an extent, I'm kind of glad that this happened, because if I did shows for this, like, back when it was, like, kind of starting out, which I probably would have done, I think I would look back on it now and be a little disappointed, because it wasn't as structured then. But, so, like, this is giving me time to, like, actually, like, really work on getting good at arranging.
That's nice, yeah.
And, making sets, because like I perform all of the tracks, like I perform them when I record them, so it gives me more experience with that. But also I just wish I could like actually like collaborate with more people and like actually meet up with them, because like collabing over something like Ableton or like sending files is one thing, and it's way more inefficient than like actually
being there,
just like having your friend over in the studio and just doing whatever you want.
Always getting, I have been retrofitted with the system that keeps me headed forward towards the finish. Feast beyond my feet like Quidditch. Listen to me, giving you my senses. I don't judge, but I'm observing, serving my kin like they were thirsty. Hurry if you would, they don't touch you with only a word. You could rest you, it's cool to be just as long as you know you're not a contestant. Are you feeling much lesser? Wait, what is my lesson? My insecurities are boiling over back into my verses, from under the covers back into my mind like they were lost lovers. Oh, what was me? Flow as smooth as Jodeci. Who is he? Who knows what we're killing, and who is noticed, and who's keeping tabs on me? Anyone, anybody trying to kick it like karate? Yo, the teachers of rap is body. Naughty, give me the trick, you don't get it twisted. I'm out the business with all the strictness. I need some kisses from my gun up. I'm on it, keep this shit going, okay? Just put the touch, if you know what I mean. That's how I'm a feed. Overwhelmed, can I fit the helm? Can I wear the bell? Will I survive hell? Time will only tell. Listen for the bell and listen from my yell. Like a pain that's never quelled. In my brain it's like cell. I feel the rain is coming down. Quiet in my songs, I'm connecting to what is around. Keep you so I will not drown.
I know that you mentioned briefly that Anti-Human couldn't get together for band practice, but since you are doing online schooling, have you all been able to hang out at all? Have you been able to see your friends?
So I've been able to see them a bit, but also, like, I don't want to put any of my friends in danger. So a part of me tries to keep it limited, but also, like, a part of it is, like, I love my friends, I want to see them, but I don't know, it's hard to balance that. But for the most part, it's really weird, and you don't really see people. Like, a lot of the times it'll be like a month and a half between, like, times that I see people, and the only time I'll, like, really, like, talk to them is like when I see them in person.
I gotcha. Because it is a little bit, once again, like, the collaborating is hard online, talking sometimes is hard online.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that you and your friends are at least a little optimistic about the future? Or what do you think about the future at all?
I want to try to be optimistic about the future. I know other people feel a lot differently, especially, like, going in with the whole political situation, but that's a whole different thing. I'm trying to be optimistic. It's definitely a lot more difficult compared to, like, around, like, late 2020 when we were like, yeah, we'll, like, get vaccines and most of this will probably be over. But now we're at a stage where vaccines are actually being put out and bam, new COVID just dropped, stuff like that.
Yeah. And as you know, everyone's still bummed about the pandemic, and you only relatively recently started a band and going to shows, like you mentioned, that, one of your first shows was just only a couple years ago. And I know a lot of people that grew up in high school going to shows, and the communities that they were a part of and made were super important to them. So I'm just curious to know how this makes you feel. Do you feel like that you've been robbed at all?
A little bit, yeah. I just, at least with, like, playing shows, like, we were supposed to, like, do some out-of-town dates. That was the plan, like, getting a solid, like, foundation to start kind of expanding just our following a little bit, and we never got that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks, and I'd say it robbed me a little bit.
It does
suck. Also,
huh? I say it does suck. I do feel for you all a lot on that front.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that you feel it too, because, like, you guys had shows to play too.
Yeah, how do you deal with the isolation?
That's kind of a difficult one. I try my best to, like, do art and make music, but also I feel like having no outside, like, stimulation really kind of, like, wears down on you creatively. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's kind of a balance whenever you're living your everyday life, like, going to work normally and, like doing a 9-to-5, and then, like, being able to balance that through expressing yourself in music. Mm-hmm. But then, like, when it feels so weird, because, like, I have my whole bedroom full of equipment, and I feel like I can't even really do anything with it sometimes.
Yeah. Is it, and, going off of that, you had said before the pandemic that S.T.A.I.N was going to be more collaborative, but, trying to share over the internet's just not the same. So, and I see that that's affected you and how you have produced music during quarantine and everything like that. Do you think that, that this is the state of most people in punk, moving to music that can be made in their bedroom?
I don't think it should be, like, 100%, like, dominated, but also I think it definitely should have a place, because there just isn't enough of it, and also there isn't enough of it that's actually just layered how it is, like, for a live show. Like, or yeah. I guess it's kind of, because it's kind of hard to be able to get it to a form to where it sounds like it's an actual band playing, to where it doesn't feel, like, as hollow. And I don't know. I hope more people try to do that type of stuff, because it's so doable. You can easily make a whole like nasty D-beat track, or like any type of album you want of any type of sound just in your bedroom. And like that was proven with like Ryan released his EP pretty recently, and I think that was pretty reflective of like those types of ideals.
Yeah. And you just said that it's easy to do, so more people should try to do that at least. Do you think that the current circumstances that we're going through have created a more independent attitude for the future of punk and underground music?
I'd definitely say so. Like, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Like, some people really see it as like something you can only make with a band. But I don't know. I just try to reject that thing entirely. Like, I want to be able to have every element, like just from myself. And it really depends on like how much dedication you're able to put into it.
Do you think that with, so many people resorting to, making music by themselves and, discovering new sounds and things that they want to incorporate, do you think that, that will affect the general sound of punk in the future? Like that hardware synth sound?
I hope so. I want to hear more of that, because there really isn't enough of it. Even the stuff that there is, I feel really stands out and really kind of gives you like a breath of fresh air. And I don't want to say a completely oversaturated market, but there's definitely some like kind of oversaturation in the whole like punk as a whole.
Do you have any, last words? What would you like people to know? What are you feeling? Anything like that?
I don't know. I guess the most I can say is just like, do what you want. Like there shouldn't be any like limits to music. And I think quarantine has like kind of taught me that, even though like it comes as like a double-edged sword. Like, I'll make some stuff that like doesn't necessarily have limits, but like I don't like it.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I don't think punk should be limited to like just having a band.
Thank you so much again.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. You have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was S.T.A.I.N. with Shreds, Divorcer with Aspiring Mighty Exalted, and we had Jhenetics featuring The Wicked Lemon with the track Overwhelmed. Huge thanks to Tony for sitting down with me this week. You can hear their music at stain333.bandcamp.com and antihuman.bandcamp.com. As always, keep up with Dark Matter in the Nashville Free Store at Dark Matter Collective and at Nashville Free Store, both on Instagram. And check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Dark Matter Collective. Thanks for listening and see you soon.